Traveling alone can be fun, exciting, and enlightening no matter your age. It allows you to reflect on your life, yourself, and the world around you, and to just be able to do it on your own terms. It can also be scary, particularly if you've never traveled solo before, which is why we've put together a list of tips and tricks for first-time solo travelers, and even for seasoned pros. If you're considering taking a trip on your own, you're going to want to watch this video. In it, I'm going to give you my top 11 solo travel tips. The ones I wish somebody had told me before I started traveling. So, I'm going to show you how to prepare for a solitary journey and make sure you're ready for whatever comes your way. You deserve to treat yourself with just a little bit of adventure, and even if you aren't sure where to begin, we're here for you. TravelGoals brings you the best in travel destinations, travel tips, and accommodations around the world. But before we dive into today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, tap on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our stuff, and yeah, let's get going. Number 1, research your destination. Before you go to a new place, take time to research your destination. This is important whether you're going somewhere nice and safe or traveling somewhere that could be a bit sketch. Research means different things for different people, but in general, you should find out about the following: the places you want to visit, find out what there is to do around where you're staying, and make sure it's safe for you to visit the places you want to go. And also, check out the reviews from other travelers so you can get an idea of how good the food and the bars are in those places. The culture of the country, how people talk, how they dress, act, etc. Try and learn about how the locals speak and what they wear so it ain't too awkward if someone says hello in Chinese but then starts speaking English with no introduction. It's also very useful to know how people act in public because this will really help tell if something's normal or not. The time of year that you're planning on visiting, i.e. what the weather is going to look like. Check out what time of year it's going to be when you arrive so you can pack appropriately for hot days, cold nights, whatever it is. You should also do some research about safety concerns in the country you're looking at. You should be looking into things like local laws, how much money is needed for things like food and transportation, what kind of currency is used there and how much it costs, what the exchange rate is. It's also a great idea to find out what kind of food is safe to eat there and how to avoid getting sick. You should also know how much money to bring with you and where to exchange currency safely. And if you're heading off to an adventure for somewhere like Africa or Asia, make sure your vaccinations are up to date. And check in with your doctors about any extra precautions that might be necessary before you travel. Number 2, get off the tourist trail. If you really want to get the most out of your solo trip, avoid the tourist spots. Your options are endless, and it's one of my favorite things about traveling alone. Eating in a tourist restaurant full of other tourists where the prices are hiked up just for you, it's not going to give you the same experience. Instead, spend some time wandering around. Find a local spot to eat at. The food's going to be more authentic, it's going to be cheaper, and the atmosphere is going to be way less superficial. You can do this when you go shopping too. Keep your eyes peeled out for those little shops that don't advertise in English or French or whatever language you speak. Getting off the beaten track is going to help you uncover some hidden gems and much more exciting stuff than popping into a shop that's like literally any other shop back home. Number 3, learn a few useful words and phrases from the local language. This is especially important if you're going to be traveling to a non-English speaking country. You don't need to become fluent in the language, but having a good grasp of the basics like hello, goodbye, thank you, and where is going to help you communicate with the locals. This is going to make it so much easier for you to ask for directions if you get lost or make friends with local people. You can easily learn many essential words and phrases in a short time by using an online language course like Duolingo, or by downloading a relevant phrasebook app on your smartphone, e.g. Lonely Planet's phrasebooks. Number 4, travel light and bring only essentials. If you want to travel light, it's important that you only pack the essentials. If you're an introvert, then traveling alone should be a piece of cake. You shouldn't need to bring anything extra that'll cause you stress or anxiety when traveling. It's advisable to carry luggage that can fit in the overhead compartment of the plane or the train, so you don't have to worry about people stealing from you while you're on your trip. By packing light, leaving clothes at home that aren't necessary for the trip, you'll avoid overpacking, which will help you spend so much less time organizing and arranging and packing luggage as you move from place to place during your travels. So, for example, instead of bringing, say, 10 pairs of pants, there's no point in taking each one with its own matching top because they can all go together easily just by switching the shirts around. So, yeah, try and pack clothes economically. Number 5, pack a travel first aid kit. Now that you've made a mental checklist of things to pack, it's time for a physical one. In addition to the list that you're already making in your mind, make sure that you take the following items with you when you're traveling alone. Band-aids with antiseptic, wound plasters and waterproof plasters, gauze swabs, wound dressing, Scissors. Rehydration salts to help with dehydration caused by diarrhea if that happens. Anti-diarrhea medication. Painkillers, pain relief medicine. Anti-allergy medicine, in case you get like an allergic reaction to food or insect bites. Antihistamine cream for rashes or other skin irritations. Suction pump for insect bites. DEET against mosquitoes. Malaria tablets, if necessary depending on the area that you're going to. And sunscreen and after sun. When carrying a first aid kit in your day pack, remember to put it in your backpack or other luggage before checking in at the airport. Customs officers really don't like scissors and hand luggage. Number 6, bring cash and credit cards. Before you travel, get out a decent amount of cash in the currency of the country you're visiting. You're going to need cash for things like taxis and buses, i.e. public transportation, and possibly to buy meals for your first day or two until you find an ATM at your destination that won't charge a crazy fee. Bring multiple credit cards and debit cards with you. Most ATMs accept either Visa or MasterCard, but not both. So, if you're lucky enough to find one that does accept them both, it may only be for one card type per bank. If you have more than one credit card option, then even if one is declined at the ATM because it doesn't accept that particular brand of card, you got another option within reach, and hopefully enough funds available on it to get what you need. Number 7, familiarize yourself with the common scams in your destination country. The best way to avoid getting scammed while traveling is, back to number 1, do your research. Before you leave, be sure to research common scams from the country you're visiting so you can know exactly what they are and avoid them if they try and happen to you. Speak to locals, read travel blogs, and check out the Foreign Office website for advice on the most common problems that travelers face. For example, if you're going to Thailand, make sure you know about these scams. Tuk-tuk drivers who will take your money and drive off. Fake monks who ask for donations, but they're not real monks. Number 8, make copies of your documentation and keep it separate from your originals. You should always have copies of your important travel documentation, like your passport and your visa. And also, keep the originals in a safe place, like a hotel safe. And then take the copies with you at all times when you're going out and exploring. Always have them separate from the original documents so that if they get lost or stolen, you still got the originals. A great way to carry these documents is using a money belt under your clothes, which can be just a good place to keep some cash and credit cards for emergencies. Super handy, would recommend. Also, write down important phone numbers on paper from family and friends, but also from your bank and travel and health insurance in case your phone breaks, gets lost, or stolen. Number 9, take great care of your personal belongings and be conscious of your environment. When you're in a crowd or the people are all walking around and stuff, be careful. Always be aware of your surroundings, especially when you're in busy areas like Times Square or Piccadilly Circus. You could easily bump into someone and get distracted by your mobile phone without realizing that somebody is pickpocketing you. Or at least trying to. Trust me, it is horrible. Always have your most important documents on you and do not show off anything you have. A money belt is always the best way to keep all those important documents tucked in and hidden, because it doesn't stand out as much. So, yeah, much safer. Violent gangs are active in some countries, with high crime rate and higher risk of robbery. Therefore, again, back to research. Always do it before you travel. If you become a victim of robbery, hand over your belongings and don't resist. Whatever you do, if you resist, it often leads to more violence. Another good tip, don't leave anything unattached and use a cable lock. With this, you can, for example, attach your bag to a tree. And now it would take someone 3 times longer to steal your bag. Number 10, book accommodation for the first night of your trip before you leave home. So there's 2 reasons why I recommend booking accommodation for the first night of your trip before you leave home. The first reason is that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're going to know exactly where you're staying on your first night, which means you can just kick back and relax as your trip starts instead of rushing around trying to find a place to stay while battling jet lag or tiredness. The second reason is that it ensures that you won't be too tired or stressed out on the first day of your trip. This is really important because being too exhausted on the first day means that you might find it hard to enjoy yourself, which could result in you having a negative attitude towards your solo travels right from the get-go. Not what you want. Number 11, take so many photos. It's great to remember all those special moments. As a solo traveler, there is nothing better than remembering the lovely experience, world-changing experience you've had. Taking photos is an easy way to connect with your destination and the people that you've met along the way. Some of these photos are bound to have some magic on them because you're capturing a moment that only happened once. So, to help you remember the spectacular views and incredible people behind it all, take pictures. What are your thoughts on all these solo travel tips? Do share them in the comments section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for more videos like this. See you in the next one. Bye.